So yesterday we were talking about how things are always changing. And that's one of the big teachings that we learn here living at the Abbey. And if you weren't here living at the Abbey, the same thing would happen wherever you were. So it's just the fact that things change. And my teacher was, one of my teachers was a perfect example of that, because whenever you had a plan, I came to the conclusion that the plan meant that wasn't what was going to happen, because everything changed. So sometimes we get really invested in things, and it's like, okay, this thing is going to be exactly like this. And then, you know, causes and conditions change. So we're getting ready, you know, to move the meditation hall. We have a nice little plan of how it's going to go. For sure, that's not going to be what happens, okay? And so we don't know if it's going to take longer or take shorter or be better or be worse. We have absolutely no idea. And so, like everything else in our life, we have to really play it by ear, you know, and see how things turn out. And so we find that, you know, even at the Abbey, although we have plans, we have a schedule, that there's always things that are, you know, causing something to change in one direction or another. So when things change, and also when things happen in life that we didn't expect, it's important not only to be able to roll with what's happening, but also not to take the change personally, yeah? Because sometimes, you know, the change happens and then we go, oh, I must have done something wrong, or I must have done something right, or, you know, the change happened because of me, or because of me. You know, whichever way we happen to take it, you know. But this kind of self-referential attitude that we often have when things happen, when words are spoken, when, you know, who knows what's happening, this makes us extremely kind of prickly and actually functions to make us quite unhappy, yeah. So I think often, rather than just kind of assuming that everything happens because of us, it would be better to be a little bit more modest and think that things just happen because of causes and conditions. Okay, so you know, whatever happens with the hall, we could get very personal about it. And, oh, this is happening because of Sharvasti Abbey, or because of me, or you know, or contrary, you know, it's because of you. And yeah, so we were talking at our stand-up meeting this morning about how we tend to take everything and, you know, blame, especially if it's something we don't like, blame it on either ourselves or the other person, yeah, instead of just seeing change as change, yeah, and, you know, trying to take the self out of it a little bit, so not everything is so self-referential. Okay, so we may have contributed to part of the causes or part of the conditions, but that doesn't mean that blame has to be in there. Okay, you getting what I mean? I think the whole paradigm we have in life of blame is something that we need to demolish. So rather than blame somebody else or blame ourselves, just drop blame. Yeah, you know, like banish that word and just say causes and conditions. Yeah? And it's always good to examine what our role in something was, but you know, not attributing to ourselves as being the source of causes and conditions that we aren't. You know, like, I was the one who made it rain today. Yeah, it's like, sorry, it was going to rain anyway, no matter this or that, okay? So, you know, we're not a cause of the rain. We're not a condition of the rain. So not to take responsibility for things that aren't our responsibility, okay? But just see conditioning and take the self out of it a little bit and take the other out of it and instead greet it with kindness, greet it with compassion. So I know now that all of you are now thinking, uh-oh, what did I do that she gave that talk? Or as Sophia said this morning, oh no, you know, the other persons did that, so now she's, you know, putting them in their place.